Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, my loves. Thank you for joining me again for another episode of Pretty with Purpose, Unleashing the Power Within You podcast. This is episode 2, and today our topic is the danger of being pretty. Ooh. What? What you mean? The danger of being pretty. There's no such thing, the danger of being pretty. Don't you mean privilege? Yes, my love. There is another side to being pretty. A side that a lot of people overlook or are blinded to. When in fact, often being pretty is something celebrated, desired, and valued in our society and culture. But today, I want to look at the other side of being pretty. That's right. What you mean other side? What other side? I'll tell you. Thank you for asking. The side when being pretty means there's a target on you. Did you just say that? I sure did. There's a target that comes with being pretty. Whether that target is envy, jealousy, covetousness, people not liking you for no reason, or you become a target practice for men. And what I mean by that, you become a target practice for men, I mean you become game. Men hunt for you because of how you look. Be honest, man. Don't act like, come on, don't act like y'all don't, go for the woman that you find attractive. That's right. And vice versa. It's the same thing with men. When men are attractive, they become hunt. That's right. We see oftentimes, especially with wealthy men, we see women put a target on them. They want to become their baby moms, and they do all types of stuff to get whatever they set out to get from these men or from these women. So there is another side to being pretty. I know people, oh, you desire, oh, I want it and I want it, but do you know what you're asking for? A lot of times we're desiring to walk in people's shoes, and we don't know what comes with walking in people's shoes. Be grateful for the shoes you got and keep them shoes on your feet and stop trying to walk in somebody else's shoes. Thank you for saying that, Shardell. Laughing out loud, but not laughing. But the point I'm trying to make is often as people, we're desiring what appears to be attractive to us about somebody else. And we really don't know what comes with having that something else. The responsibility, the attention, the target it makes you. This is why it's fair to say, be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for you, for who you are. And I also would like to bring out the point of this comparison. Far so often, we're looking at what we find attractive about other people that we overlook our own attractiveness on the inside of us. We're so busy wanting what somebody else have and not liking somebody for what they have, and we wishing it was us or we could have it. We're so busy in a covetousness mindset or in a space of jealousy and envy that we don't realize the greatness in ourselves. Comparison is a killer. I like what Apostle Paul said when he said only fools compare themselves. Paul said it, not me. I'm just saying I like it. I like it because we could get so caught up in wasting time and wanting what somebody else have or wanting to be something else envious of people's gifts, envious of their car, envious of their relationship, their car, the money they make, envious. But pause, my beloved. Do you not see that you was beautifully and wonderfully made in God's image? And do you not realize by you wanting what somebody else have or wanting to be somebody else, do you not realize that you telling God he made a mistake with you, that he messed up with you, that he didn't do a good job with you? Do you not realize you wasting time? That there's a need for you? There's a purpose for you? That you are attractive? That you are needed? That you are wanted? That you are enough? You know the root to this, a lot of this, wanting what somebody else have and stuff like that, it's insecurities, not feeling secure in yourself. So you're wanting to be someone else. You wanting what somebody else have because you don't deem yourself as enough. When that's a lie. I don't know who said something that made you feel like you wasn't enough. I don't know who mistreated you and it left you feeling empty and unworthy and unvalued. But my love, I come to tell you today, you are enough. You are valued. You are it, my love. But because you're blinded by the hurt and the pain and blinded by what you see, that baby, you don't see the inner beauty. You don't see the greatness. You don't see the value of yourself. You're downplaying yourself when you don't even know it. You it, baby. You are a diamond in the making. But you can't become that diamond in the making if you keep looking at everyone else and wanting what everyone else have, and yet neglecting to nurture the diamond you already are. And I'm going to pause right there. Now, I want to go into time of transparency. I can remember being in a church and being a member of a church. And I remember how the way I was perceived because of how I look, how I'm shaped, and, knowing how to dress. I remember being mistreated, whether women, wouldn't want to connect with me, or women would look at me as if I wanted their husband. I was misjudged and mistreated a lot because of the way I look. And I didn't like it. And as a result, in ways it made me try harder, in a sense, I tried my best to make sure I dressed it in a respectable way, because the last thing I wanted to get off and make somebody think I wanted their husband, because that just wasn't my intention. It's just not my cup of tea sharing the men. There's too many men out here to have to share. Just my opinion. I remember as a result of being mistreated for how I look. It wasn't just how I was look. I was gifted as well. It was the way God has designed me and wired me. God has given me a lot of gifts as well. So if it wasn't my looks, then it was because I was anointed and gifted and whatever else, people found attractive of me. Now, this wasn't everybody, but, it was, a good amount of people. But as a result of being mistreated and not wanting people to feel insecure or be jealous or feel threatened about me, as a result of that, I started dimming my light And in me dimming my light, like I try not to draw no attention to myself. So I changed the way, I dress. I, changed the way I went about doing things. And some, in a lot of ways, I dummy myself down, dim my light. I became something I wasn't. That's the words I'm looking for. I became something I wasn't, all in the name of wanting to be accepted, not wanting to be rejected. Because I know what it is to be rejected and it doesn't feel good. I know what it is to experience abandonment and it doesn't feel good. And because I already experienced it and at that time, having these different experiences, not being healed of that, it made me resort to dimming my light and dumbing myself down and becoming something I wasn't. And this went on for years. And little did I know the damage, I was doing. I wasn't being my authentic self. I wasn't loving myself. I wasn't embracing myself. I was, so caught up and so concerned about what other people thought of me that I was allowing other people's opinions to become my opinion of myself. I was allowing their voices and the way they felt make me suppress me. I suppressed loving me and embracing me. And it took years for me to get to the place of telling myself, it doesn't matter who reject you when you accept you. And that's what it really was. It wasn't that people didn't receive me. It wasn't that they was jealous and that they was envious and they mistreated me and they misjudged me, because it comes with life if we be honest. The real problem is I didn't accept myself. I didn't accept myself. And I know the root cause came from childhood, things I experienced in my childhood. But that was the real problem. I didn't accept myself. I was rejecting. I was abandoning myself. Because whether we realize it or not, when we decide to be something other than ourselves, when we're not being authentic, our authentic self, when we're not loving ourselves properly, we don't realize that we're rejecting and we're abandoning who God made us to be. And we're doing that in exchange to be accepted by somebody else. So, Wow. We'll rather, when we not thinking straight and when we not seeing right, we'll rather reject ourselves at the price of being accepted by somebody else, even if it means we're unhappy, even if it means we're not satisfied and the void's still there. The things we do to be accepted, to feel loved, to feel like we fit in. And this has happened so much in our society, in our culture, in our world. This is a universal thing. We're doing so much to be accepted, to be seen as being cool, to not be looked at as the outcast or the black sheep. And we're doing it at the price of losing ourselves. Even as Jesus said, what good is it for a man to gain the world but lose his soul? Is it worth it? Losing ourselves in order to be accepted in a relationship, in order for this man or this woman to want to marry you and be with you, or to be accepted by this group and be seen as being cool. Is it worth it? I mean, we see it so much on social media. Yes, we see it so much on social media where people feel like they got to pretend like they happy, pretend like they that boy or they that girl, and they got this and they make all this money and they drive this nice car and they got this nice house and they got this, they got that. All this faking, all this pretending. And when people are by themselves, they're miserable, they're depressed, they oppressed, they hurt, and some are even contemplating suicide. And I rebuke that in the mighty name of Jesus. You will not die before your time. All of this to be accepted, when the real issue is not people accepting you. The real issue is, will you accept yourself? Will you love yourself? Because when you love you, when you accept you, When you see yourself as being it, when you see yourself as that boy and that girl, and you see yourself as cool, it don't even matter. Why? Because you accept you. It's only a problem when you don't accept you. Then you start listening to the wrong voices, the voice of others. And you allow the opinions of others to shape you and mold you. And before you looked up, you at an age and you don't even recognize yourself. Who have you become? Well, beloved, it's time to turn back to your authentic self. And that starts with you accepting you and you loving yourself. And I want to add this. You loving yourself, that's a lifetime commitment. It's not something you say, it's something you commit to. You commit to loving yourself. And you don't stop loving you in order to love someone else. And what I mean by that, if you got to hurt yourself in order to love someone else, you're not doing it right. Jesus said this, love your neighbor as you love yourself. As you love yourself. Because you can't love nobody else right until you learn how to love yourself right first. One of the things I like to say is it's illegal for you to say you want love without first loving yourself. You are operating illegally when you try to love others, but yet you neglect to love yourself. So make it your business to start loving yourself. And I want to move right into some tips on how to grow. How are we going to do this? How are we going to apply what's being talked about? This is what we're going to do. One of the things is this. Identify your hurt. Ask yourself, what hurt me? What hurt me? Was it a person? Was it an experience? What hurt you? That's right. You're going to get some pen and paper, a journal, something, and you're going to write. You're going to take some time. This is how you do this, right? You take the time. You carve out some time. Let it be some quiet time, some uninterrupted time where you could take the time to be quiet and spend some time with yourself and ask yourself these important questions, because it's time to grow, because God has purpose of you. And no longer can we stay in a place of hurt and try to do purpose. No, it's time to be whole so we could really move in the fullness of our purpose. We are stagnating dreams, vision, our legacy, our purpose, because we're refusing to deal with the holes that are in our souls, the things that are plaguing our souls. So you're going to ask yourself, what or who hurt me? And I want to throw this out that we're not doing this to place blame, because no, we're not doing that. We're not being the victim. We're not doing it. We're doing this to face what we need to face so we could grow and become a better us, and we could get to where we need to get. So ask yourself, what or who hurt me? The next question is, why it hurts. Why does this hurt? That's us going deeper. We're going to the root. Why did this hurt me? Come on. Because we're not dealing with nothing no more at the surface level. It's time to go to the root and uproot the very thing. So all the other symptoms, the acting out, the gravitating towards the wrong things, the allowing the wrong people in our space and all that, we can't deal with that without first going through the root. We can't get rid of that, because what happened is we think we'll get rid of somebody and we'll see the same spirit in a new face, in another person. Why? Because we never dealt to the root issue of why we entertaining it in the first place. So why it hurts. That's number 2. Number 3, how has it affected me? How has this affected me? Meaning, examples, did it leave you having trust issues? Did it leave you with insecurities? Did it leave you with rejecting yourself, feeling abandonment? What type of effects? How has this affected your decision making? How has it affected the way you perceive life? What are the consequences, the repercussions, the effects of the hurt that you've been experiencing and refusing to deal with. Next thing is, after you discover all this, if you ain't already start and you feel the need to, release the hurt. Release that hurt. And one of the ways you're going to release that hurt is through crying. We don't realize, and I'm saying this especially for the men, but we don't realize that crying is a form of healing. It's something that God has given us to release what's in us. Some of us need a good cry to release some things. Now, crying might not let out everything, and it might not heal everything, but it's going to be a good help and a good starting point. So crying, release that cry, release that hurt, lighten your load and release that cry. Another thing that's going to help add to the healing is forgiveness. That's right. You're going to have to forgive who, what, and probably even yourself. You're going to have to forgive. Because this forgiveness is going to be crucial to you being able to let go and fully come forth and bloom into who God destined you to be. So you're going to have to forgive. You got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive people. But you got to forgive because that forgiveness is for you. It's for the freedom of your soul. When you refuse to forgive, it makes you bitter. It makes you mean. You carry unnecessary pain. It's a lot of people we see right now that are hurting, miserable, bitter. You know why? Because they refusing to let go. They refusing to forgive. It will also bring sickness and diseases in your body. So it's time to forgive, not for their sake, but for your sake. Another thing is, this is a lot of helpful stuff. Another thing, and I want to tell you this, don't rush this. Take your time. Take your time with this, but at the same time, don't rush this process. At the same time, too, don't dwell in the process, even meaning don't stay in a place longer than you need to. Feel what you need to feel, deal with what you need to deal with, and then it's time to move on. Ain't no time to keep living in the past when your future is calling you. So the next thing is rebuild yourself in the areas you was affected by intentionally loving yourself in them areas. So, for example, if it left you with insecurities, you're going to be intentional in giving attention to your insecurities, to love yourself and speak life over yourself in your areas of insecurities, or even you got trust issues. You're going to be intentional in practicing trust, starting with trusting yourself. Because when you learn how to trust yourself, ain't no problem. You know who to trust and who not to give your trust to. But you got to give the attention to the effects that it have so you could grow and you could develop and you could be whole in them areas that's needed. So rebuild yourself in the areas you was affected by intentionally loving yourself in those areas, giving the attention that's needed in that area, speaking life to them areas. You know, another thing is to speaking to the lies. If you believe that, you know, for example, that you was ugly and you wasn't enough, then you got to defeat that lie and tell that lie the truth. No, I am beautiful. I am enough. I am valuable. I am worthy. You got to tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself to come out that place and stop believing that lie. And the last thing, and it's important, that's going to help you with it all. Ask God for his help in the healing process. That's right. Ask him. Ask him to walk with you through this. Ask him to help you through this. Ask him to instruct you. Ask him to be there with you. Ask him to heal you. God is there and he'll help you if you let him. We're coming to the end, and I want to leave you with this. Yes, you've been through all the things you've been through, but I want you to consider this. Consider it's time to rewrite the narrative. It's time to see how it made you better. Consider the good that came from it. Love, this is your time in new beginnings. And you cannot walk in your new beginnings holding on to the victim mentality. The winner mentality pulls the good and release the bad because they got to, because it's too much greatness and they don't have time to spend dwelling in the past. So see this as your time of a fresh start, a new you emerging. You've been through the worst. Now it's time for the best. It didn't destroy you because all things work together for good for those that love God and are called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. You may want to meditate on that scripture. Baby, God has need of you. He has a purpose for you to do. And he's telling you to get up. No more living in the past. Your new is here and it's now. That is all for today, my loves. I thank you for joining me on Pretty with Purpose, Unleashing the Power Within You podcast. I look forward to you joining me next week for another episode. Until then, my loves, be great because that's what you are. Greatness in the makings. Laters, love, and remember, be pretty with a purpose.